Welcome to the Scarpagara War Opposition Preview, Cambridge United on Saturday. I'm joined by Jack from Under the Abbey Stand. You okay, mate?
Yes, very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. First, wanted to start with how your season's going. Obviously, bottom of the league. When I said, "Are you okay?" I was expecting a slightly different answer. I must admit. What's happened? What's happened this season? Where's it all gone wrong?
It's a kind of a series of reasons, really. I think, bad recruitment in the summer, a lot of players moving on certainly hasn't helped us. I think we're probably one of the lowest budgets, and that's now reflected. I think we're not able to compete with wage bills in this league, and I think that's certainly come into play. And I think we've been unlucky with some of those signings, just, getting injured and just not featuring for us enough. And it's just been, that melting pot of everything going wrong, really. Managers last year coming and going, and then having Gary Monk in charge until very recently, just not really doing the job. And yeah, just a real struggle for the whole way through. And sadly, we deserve to be where we are. Really, the performances this season have been fairly abject for the most part. And to be honest, we're down there because we've been poor, and it's going to take a bit of rebuilding, I think. And I think, to be honest, if we're honest with ourselves, that's beyond the end of this season.
Yeah, what was the expectation at the start of the season then? Was it survival, or was it mid-table, or were you going for the playoffs? What was that like before we kicked off?
It certainly wasn't playoffs. I think really it's always survival in League One for us. I think we are one of the lower teams, and I don't think that's underselling ourselves. It's our fourth season in League One, but you look at the previous seasons, and it's all been pretty, tight, and a couple of, gone to the last day, and one was very tight, near the end of the season. So we've been down there and we've competed really well, and we've had some great moments here and held our own. But this season it's really kind of come undone, and we've been exposed, really. And I don't think it's defeatist to say that, but I do think that we need to come to realize, if we're going to compete in this league, we need to spend the money and have a bit more kind of, football brain about us than we have had.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Gary Monk's left recently. You mentioned just prior to this, I didn't know this, but you had a director of football as well. They've left. Was that director of football not working as a concept, or is it just you need a new director of football?
No, it was very much the prior one. He was kind of had a big say in recruitment, and there were a lot of questions, and it actually developed quite a toxic atmosphere amongst fans, really going for the man himself, and chanting at games, wanting him out, and there were a lot of questions and frustration from fans about the transfer kind of policy and why things were breaking down and why we weren't getting people through the door. So it was very much a kind of active decision and something that happened whilst it wasn't out of the blue. It happened very suddenly, and then of course with Gary Monk going at the same time, it now seems like there's a bit of an overhaul in place. But we haven't, as of recording, had any updates. But there are rumours flying around about certain people returning to the club in some capacity, and there's certainly going to be some interesting appointments, I think, made, and the board have to make some pretty big decisions now.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be an appointment before Saturday, and we'll get that new manager bounce?
I don't know. It's all a bit weird because the club kind of said we will communicate with you more in the week, and we're all kind of waiting on tenterhooks, waiting for that communication. So we're all a bit up in the air because we've not actually had confirmation who's taking charge of the game. They would usually say, caretaker would come in, or an assistant or somebody, and they haven't actually made that clarification this time round, whereas they did before. So I feel like there might be someone coming in through the door in some capacity to kind of lead the team, but we're still waiting for that. So yeah, we don't know, and that's not good for a team when you're down there. You want that stability, and you want to be able to look forward and kind of build as soon as possible. And I don't think we've had that because it's still so up in the air now.
Yeah, I guess it could go one of two ways from a county perspective, because you've got that chaos in place where the players might knit together and go, look, let's do it ourselves, and and sort of pull together in one direction. Or it could go the other way where it's complete chaos and you just sort of fold from the first minute. So four home wins I can see this season and 2 away. Obviously, one of those away defeats was us in the first day of the season, and Louis Barry scored a great goal to get us off the mark. What are you expecting on Saturday?
Oh, it's a horrible question to have to answer. I'm struggling to find much positivity and confidence. On a spectrum of the podcasts that we do under the Abbey Stand, I'm probably one of the more positive, I think, generally. But I'm really struggling to find positivity. You know, last time out, we lost at home to Exeter in a really, really disappointing loss. We performed poorly. Exeter weren't good. They just were slightly less worse than we were, and it's been the same all season. I'm struggling to see enough ability out there, and certainly to challenge, someone like yourselves. I mean, we did well against Wickham, in quite recent memory, but it just seems since then we've kind of lost that bit of confidence, and we've lost, just hope really. And I don't see it going well for United. I think new manager bounce aside, I don't know that we should really be having much hope looking ahead to the game. I think Stockport, as you say, are in good form. They've picked up some good results, especially on the road as well. So it's not like Stockport should be scared of travelling and coming to a place like Cambridge. So I think, you guys can kind of probably open your wings and go for it a bit. But you never know. Football's a funny old game, isn't it? And United might just, with that, managerless freedom, come out and have an absolute stormer. But it seems unlikely.
Yeah, that is the worry from my perspective. On our podcast, I'm generally the realist, sort of nudging towards pessimism. But yeah, it just fills me full of dread. The shackles are off. So I guess it's probably a hard question to answer. But what will the shape and the sort of the direction of play be then on Saturday?
Yeah, the shape's not too hard. The direction is a $1 million question. We don't seem to have any of that. But yeah, we'll probably play with the 3 centre backs and then 2 wing backs, a kind of 2 supporting centre midfielders, and then 2 attacking players, kind of not so wide, but behind 1 striker. That's how I would think we play. That's how we set up last game out against Exeter at home. A similar kind of game, similar kind of setup. We might be welcoming back Dan Alundaloo, who's a striker on loan from Bolton, who has been good for us. He's been out injured and has had injury history. But if he comes back, it might be that he partners Ryan Loft up top if we feel like we want to go for it. It's a strange thing because we absolutely need to go for it. We absolutely need to go for this and try and turn this around if we believe that we can do this season, because there's still, 15 games left for us to do something. And that is more than enough to do something, to escape from the point we're in. It just seems so hopeless because of how poor the football's been. So I think Cambridge, whilst the performance on Saturday against Exeter was abject, I think they were, that was the idea, that they were trying to go for it and be a bit more attacking. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was how they set up again. If someone puts a rocket up them and they do it with a bit more oomph, then it might be quite an open game with United trying to get on the front foot and score early. So yeah, I think they have to be, kind of attacking mentality now, from here on into the end of the season.
Yeah, and who's going to lead that? Who should we be looking out for on Saturday that's going to potentially cause us a problem?
It all just feels so kind of, it's that feeling of resignation. I mean, we've got Ryan Loft leading the line, who's scored a couple of goals for us since coming in, and bless him, he's not, I wouldn't say he's a League One footballer. I think he puts an absolute shift in, and he scored a couple of really good goals, but he might struggle, but he's big and physical, so keep an eye out for him. I think Josh Stokes is the player you want to watch out for, number 22. He'll be in behind the striker there, and he's just so able on the ball. He's a small player. He doesn't look like much, but he's strong and really difficult to get the ball off. And yeah, he's been the kind of one shining light this season of just real quality, and he seems to have a lot of passion. He seems to care about playing United. He's only on loan, but he wants to be here, and he's tried so hard to get him out, and he's only young, still a teenager. So yeah, just to have someone like that and see some real quality football in the squad is nice. Week in, week out, regardless of our performances, he's usually fairly central to anything good that happens. And yeah, I imagine he will be the one that really could cause you some problems back there.
Good stuff. Okay, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to press you for a prediction. What do you think the score is going to be on Saturday?
Yeah, you and I spoke earlier for our preview, and your prediction of I think 2-0 Stockport seems pretty sensible. But I am going to bring some positivity from a United point of view. I think they are going to make it hard work, and I think it will be 2-1 to Stockport. And that's not me being pessimistic. I think that's more my realism hat. But yeah, I think it'll be, it will make it hard work for you, but ultimately you'll have too much quality for us. So 2-1 to you, I think.
Okay, excellent stuff. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining me. Good luck in the relegation scrap after Saturday, of course, because we need the points as well. But thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Cheers, Jack.
Thank you.
Cheers. See you later.